Narratives are often the most effective way to understand the complexities of our lives. Today, we offer a few reflections that illustrate the diverse and powerful force we call love, and the varied ways it is manifest in the world. We begin with a story shared by Reverend Abigail. The story begins in a smaller Unitarian Universalist church where over time the congregation had dwindled to be only a handful of older members and friends. Still, despite their size, they carried their love for one another and for their faith in their hearts. One Sunday, there was a new attendee at the church, a middle-aged blind man. The man was accompanied by another person who had been attending the church for some time. Parts of the service, then as now, were shared as written readings and hymns. This man continued to attend each week, even though he was unable to fully participate, as he was not able to see. One day during coffee hour, he was overheard saying that technology had made life more accessible for those in the blind community. But he lamented that the imprint Braille materials he and others used to read had become less common, and he missed them. He missed, he said, reading with his fingers. Someone else piped up saying that they too missed reading books, the physical books that you could hold in your hand and touch the pages. After that church that day, several people wondered how they might provide Braille hymnals in the church. The congregants did some research and discovered that both Unitarian Universalist hymnals were available in Braille. The individuals worked to raise the funds needed to purchase a set of the Braille hymnals. Even in this small and struggling congregation, they worked to stretch funds. They understood that this was an important way that they would step up to live their values and show their love by being more understanding and inclusive of others. Then one Sunday, the congregation presented the new Braille hymnals as a gift to this new friend. At coffee hour that day, he offered his thanks for the gift and for what it represented to him. For even though he could not see, he was seen. On that day, this small group of people undertook an act of love, of grace, of compassion for a relative stranger who might not even continue to attend their church, but was treated with the respect and care that they would show to any of their members. Our next reflection comes from a time in South Africa, back in the 1990s, when the evil of apartheid finally came to an end, and the people that had suffered easily could have clung to anger and hatred and retribution. Remarkably, there were leaders who led the way of love on the path of reconciliation. The newly formed government offered individuals the respect and dignity to publicly share their stories, and then to extend forgiveness to those who had offered their heartfelt admission of the wrongs of which they were a part. This miraculous example of the power of mercy, forgiveness, and love continues to serve as a reference point for how we all can be in relationship with one another. The Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Nobel Prize winner, Chair of the Elders, and Chair of South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission, has written extensively on his faith and the lessons that he gained throughout this experience. In a 2010 interview with Krista Tippett, Desmond Tutu shared the following. I have to say, if you are devoid of hope, then roll over and disappear quietly. Hope says, hey, things can be things. Things will be better because God has intended it to be so, At no point will evil and injustice and oppression and all of the negative things have the last word. And yes, there's no question about the reality of evil and injustice, of suffering, But at the center of this existence is a heart beating with love. You know that you and I and all of us are incredible. I mean, we are incredibly remarkable things, as a matter of fact, made for goodness. And it's not just a smart aleck thing to say. It's just a fact. Because all of us, even when we have done wrong, know that the wrong isn't what we should be, isn't who we should be. We are fantastic. I mean, we really are amazing. Our last reflection will be shared by Dennis Duquette.